Somewhere beyond the sunset, across the narrow sea, lay a land of green hills and flowered plains and great rushing rivers, where towers of dark stone rose amidst magnificent blue-gray mountains, and armored knights rode to battle beneath the banners of their lords. The Dothraki called that land Hraeshandali, the land of the Andals. In the free cities, they talked of Westeros and the Sunset Kingdoms. And what better way to understand that land than to look at a map? I spent a bunch of hours in Bricklink Studio designing this map, and now I'm gonna build it in real life. The first move here is to export the parts list. It is missing a bunch of custom parts I made for the map, but that's alright. I added all the parts I would needed to the wanted list that was created by Bricklink Studio, and it is not a small wanted list. It is nearly 9,000 total pieces to build this behemoth. So let's go ahead and buy all. That's gonna make my life much easier. And it looks like there's a number of sellers here. This guy's probably got most of the things I need by now, and yikes. I gotta imagine we can do this for cheaper. I mean, the world map is $250. We're gonna be able to get closer to that price, right? So let's go ahead and do auto select. Bricklink is gonna pick a number of sellers that can compile to make all the parts that I need, and hopefully a reasonable number of orders at a reasonable price. Let's see if we can do better than trying to buy everything from a single seller. And wow, that's still more than double the cost of the LEGO World Map, and while we may not be able to go that low, we can definitely go lower than this. So let's see what we can do. It took a lot of legwork scouring different stores, matching prices against LEGO, but I did find a way to get this down to $400, Master of Coin approved. It is still pretty expensive to build this map, but you know what? I am committed at this point, so I've made my orders. The parts are on the way, and they'll be here soon. 6 weeks later. And finally, my final pick-a-brick order had arrived all the way from Germany, but I do want to ask you all to have a moment of silence, as due to certain conditions in the United States, you can no longer order international pick-a-brick parts. Thankfully, I was able to get my order in just in time.
Whoa, that was close.
And the fruits of my patience, a couple thousand 1x1 around medium azure and dark azure tiles, and 32 16x16 Technic bricks. Alright, let the games begin. Time to start making some stickers. Did I manage to cut all these labels perfectly? No. Did I manage to cut all these labels as nice as I would have liked? Also no. Did I manage to cut these labels as well as I could hope? Yes. Time for everyone's favorite activity, and the number 2 reason that building Technic car sets sucks: putting stickers on LEGO parts. Due to the limitations of the technology I had, namely having only an inkjet printer, I was not able to print Legos over clear, transparent stickers, so I had to do a little tinkering and back and forth work in Photoshop to get colors that printed out as accurately as I could to the actual Lego parts. It was not very exciting, but it did turn in some pretty good results if I do say so myself. Aside from the white marks around some of the edges here, which were mostly unavoidable due to the type of labels that I was using, I am very pleased with how these came out. I think they're going to blend in really well to the map, and I think it's going to look pretty much like it does in Bricklink Studio. Here is all of the pieces finally compiled, sorted out, and ready to go. It is time to finally build the map. I've got all 32 of my 16x16 Technic base pieces, and I am ready for battle. Gotta take a break when you're building Lego that quickly. Let's check in, and it is really starting to look like a map. This pleases the king. let's finally check out the finished product. It only took me, 6 years or so after Game of Thrones ended to finally take the plunge and watch the show at the behest of my girlfriend, and I gotta tell you guys, it's good television. If you've gone this far in the video, I can assume that you've probably seen the show and you yourself enjoyed it. And I gotta tell you, having the map at the beginning of the opening credits was truly a smart move by them. One of the hardest parts of the show is just following all the characters and places and things that are happening, and having a good understanding of where people and places were in the show as things were going on made things so much easier to understand. I was building this map as we were finishing up the series, and it really did help me follow what was going on, and I couldn't be prouder of the conception of the idea and the execution in the finished product. It took a lot of time cutting up stupid labels that I couldn't center. I spent a lot of money on parts and spent a lot of time waiting for them, but in the end it was all worth it. If you're still watching this video, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button down there and maybe subscribe to the channel so you could see more videos like this in the future. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time.